tell you good night, 'cause I'll find a better one. Yeah, susceptible now, before the moment flies. Ooh, so tell you good night, 'cause I'll find a better one. Ooh, susceptible now, before the moment flies. It's not a problem, no, 'cause I know what I'm getting into. Yes. Yeah, and nothing can stop me, no, 'cause I'm addicted to what you and I realize. Lead the way, I follow. No need to say where we are heading now, babe. I follow to the edge of it all. So tell you good night, 'cause I'll find a better one. Yeah, susceptible now, before the moment flies, before it flies. So tell you good night, 'cause I'll find a better one. Susceptible now, before the moment flies. Yeah. In this moment, yes, I cannot say what's wrong or right. No, it's not hard to fool me. No, 'cause I'm addicted to the good life. Yes. Yeah, lead the way, I follow. No need to say where we are heading now, babe. I follow to the edge of it all, to the edge of it all. So tell you good night, 'cause I'll find a better one. Yeah, susceptible now, before the moment flies. Ooh, so tell you good night, 'cause I'll find a better one. Ooh, susceptible now, before the moment flies. It's not a problem, no, 'cause I know what I'm getting into. Yes. Yeah, and nothing can stop me, no, 'cause I'm addicted to what you and I realize. Lead the way, I follow. No need to say where we are heading now, babe. I follow to the edge of it all. So tell you good night, 'cause I'll find a better one. Yeah, susceptible now, before the moment flies, before it flies. So tell you good night, 'cause I'll find a better one. Susceptible now,
One, two, three, four.
And we want to say, welcome to the Waiting Table Podcast. What's up, guys? How's it going? Can you guys hear me okay? I have the ladies on. Can you guys hear me okay? Can you hear me? I can't see you guys yet, but okay. Okay, good. Welcome to the Waiting Table Podcast, where we have roundtable discussion about the hottest topics in weight loss community. I'm Shea, but also doubling as Bigfoot tonight. And we have some amazing ladies here tonight, and I'm excited to have them here. So look, I even have my hands. So without further ado, I'm going to welcome our ladies on here. I don't think I'm going to be able to keep this mask on all night, but I will for a little bit so we can see all of the costumes together. All right, let's see here. We have Jean, welcome. LaShawn, welcome. Michelle, welcome. And Erin, what's up, girls?
Hello.
Y'all look great.
Wow. Look at us.
Look at us go. I'm
Nice.
so excited. Did I surprise you guys? Is this totally what you were expecting?
Shea, you scared me.
I was like, Miss Shea, what are we doing between 8:59 and 9? Like, how are we working this?
Yeah, I was
I wouldn't let
expecting
you
you to
guys
have
down like
Bigfoot
that.
on.
Michelle,
Oh,
your
okay.
makeup is like on point.
You like that?
I
Not
love
bad
it.
for somebody who knows not how to do it, you know?
Listen, I threw on the earrings and the ponytail. I'm Batgirl, so
Nice.
Nice.
Very
I
cool.
love it.
Dean, you
You
look
all look
awesome.
I am
amazing.
Halloween on top and casual on the bottom.
Your background, though, Jean, like that's really cool. How do we do that?
You have a husband who does YouTube.
Ah, darn.
I don't know how he did it. I wasn't here when he set it up.
And Erin,
Pretty
we
cool.
gotta get. Can you give some of that? I put a spell on you. Like that's like you look at. Oh my goodness, yes.
beautiful.
Love it.
Ooh,
Ah,
Hocus Pocus is one of my favorites. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, I want each of you guys to introduce yourselves. While you do that, I probably will take my mask off. You guys got my what I was going for. I will keep the bodysuit on though. How's that? So maybe we'll start with Jean. Why don't you just introduce yourself? Tell everybody your name, a little bit about you, your bariatric journey, whatever you want to share. Let's start with that.
Okay. I am Jean with Jean's Life Journey. I had bariatric surgery 18 months ago. I am down 120 pounds so far, and I am close to my goal weight. Um, that the doctor said. I don't know if it's what I want yet. I kind of got bariatric surgery out of necessity. I have not had a normal process. I am the 1%, and so it's been quite the journey. But I'm happy to be here tonight.
I know. I'm so excited that you're here too. LaShawn, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey. All right, so I'm LaShawn. LaShawn __ row on Instagram. I had VSG back in May of 2020. Jane, I really want to hear more about you saying that you're the 1% because my surgery journey was trash. Honestly, I had complications and I had to get like a PIC line for a couple of months. It was not fun. So I feel you on that 1%. Yeah, I lost a total of about 70-ish pounds with mine. So still a long way to go. And there was a reason why I started, and then there's like a reason that's kind of like reigniting me because like there's some issues that's going on. So I'm kind of like starting over, if that makes sense.
Awesome. Yeah, that's why I'm so excited to have such a diverse group of ladies together here tonight, because I think it can feel really isolating when you have different roadblocks in your journey, but then when you hear somebody else who's experienced something similar or kind of within the same vein of what you've experienced, it's like, oh, I'm not alone. And that's such a beautiful feeling. So we will get into that more because I want to talk about that more too. So, Erin, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure, sisters. I am Erin. I gotta do this for me _RNY on Instagram and like a little bit of TikTok. Not really. I want to start talking tick. I need to get on there and figure it all out. But I started sharing my journey actually long before I had bariatric surgery, because as I think many of us have, attempted multiple different methods to lose weight prior to bariatric surgery. And if you go down in my feed, you would see that I was present and I was trying the keto and the this and the that, and then I would disappear for months and months and months, and then I would come back and then I'd disappear again. But since having bariatric surgery in March of 2022, I'm here to stay. I'm here to stay, man, because it literally changed my life. I'm down 144 pounds, so about 20 months post-op, and living my best life, finally.
Incredible. Yeah, me and Erin are surgery sisters. We had our surgeries in March of 2022. Is anybody else March 2022? I feel like I've met none. You ladies aren't, right? Okay.
I'm April.
April. Okay. Yeah, you're close. You're close. Cool.
There's
okay.
a couple. Yeah, there's a few that I know that were like within a few days of each other.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so wild. All right, Michelle, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Michelle, and my Instagram is Gas by Granny. And my TikTok, which I'm still figuring out, is Michelle 003. And anyway, but yeah, my journey started many years ago, and I just kept putting it off, not feeling like the time was right. And when I passed out at Disneyland, I said, that's it, I'm done. So I made arrangements to have all my prerequisites done and got those, and had surgery on July 6th of 2022. I can't even talk. And I've lost 153 pounds in that time.
That's awesome. Well, and for those that maybe this is your first time at the waiting table, I'm Shea. I had bariatric surgery in March of 2022. From my highest weight, I've lost a bit over 100 pounds. And I really started my journey more so for conception reasons. Me and my husband had been trying to conceive for a few years, and like your husband's like flying in the background. I like
Yeah, have you showing up periodically?
Perfect. I like it. And so that's kind of what initially got me started in looking into my journey, or looking into bariatric surgery, but it's become much more since then. And I've heard that from a couple of you. Does anybody want to share maybe like why they started their journey, but then like where it's taken, or kind of, I can't remember who said that, but somebody said this is how it started, but it's kind of looks a little different now. Does anybody want to talk about that?
Sure, I'll share, because I think most women can relate to me, children or no children. I just did not have the energy to get through my day, and being a mom to 3 young children. Like I had a 5-year-old at the time of my surgery, 5-year-old, and we have twins, and they were 18 months when I made it was just, I knew as soon as I was done breastfeeding my twins, I was like, this is it. I'm going to make the call to my doctor. And I did. And so for me to just be mom and to be wife and to be Erin. Like I just couldn't do it all. I just didn't have the stability, the energy. I slept any chance I could, which didn't really help me with getting, all the mom duties and household chores and things like that accomplished. So I would sort of slip into a little bit of I'm a failure, depression, like that kind of a thing. And I was physically in pain every single day. So like I couldn't get up and down, from the floor to play with my kids or to pick any toys up. The tops of my feet were numb, just circulation issues of carrying around almost 300 pounds. Both my parents have diabetes, so I kind of knew that was in my like really near future if I didn't do something quickly. So I had a lot of like those types of reasons why it was just like I'm not living life. Like I can't live my life the way I want to live it, and I was tired enough of doing that for gosh, I think the first time that I can recall really thinking like my weight is out of control, like I was 13, 14 years old. Like, so that's really young to be thinking about that. But oh, I said it, the about. Did I say it the Canadian way?
You got to get like a little noise every time you say it. I'll do a little
bleep.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Shea. Yeah, so just like those were my main reasons why, were just to be a better mom, a better wife, a better me. I mean, it sounds a little cliche, but it was just I couldn't get through my day.
Yeah. Anybody else want to share their kind of where they started? Maybe Jean, do you want to share a little bit about your journey?
Oh gosh, how long is the show?
Yeah.
Mine started for medical reasons. As of last week, I have 15 clinical autoimmune diseases. So the main umbrella is lupus SLE, which I had from the time my first symptoms were around 12. I didn't get diagnosed until after I had my first child. And so I was 22. So I was 24. So it took almost 12 years to diagnose me. And part of that was I lived in a country bumpkin town in Idaho growing up, and it took me moving into Boise and getting better doctors and to really get sick. So along with that, the one that really got me was ulcerative colitis. And in 2019, I had lost 100 pounds because I couldn't eat. I was so sick. I was so in so much pain and so sick and nothing. I couldn't keep anything down. And so I had lost 100 pounds, and they removed my colon, or what we thought was my whole colon until a couple weeks ago. But so I got an ileostomy at that time in 2019, and immediately felt amazing. Well, when they did the surgery, it didn't come with how to eat properly. So I had been so restrictive for so long and could only eat a handful of foods. I went crazy. And in 3 months, I gained 60 pounds. Of course, then I was thrown on prednisone, and I'd taken prednisone for like 10 solid years. Between the prednisone and getting older and PEs and gaining the 60 pounds from eating, I ended up tearing my stomach wall and getting a hernia, but I was over the weight that they would touch it. So I tried everything with my doctors, and finally in 2020, I started talking about bariatric surgery, but of course the world shut down and surgeries went to a halt. It took me 16 months to get approved. And part of that was because in all the testing, one of the tests that they do is they test your parathyroid for your calcium. We found out that mine had failed, and I was full osteoporosis. I shrunk 3 inches in a year and a half. Didn't know, just thought my husband was getting taller. So I had to get that surgery first. So there was a delay. And so finally got scheduled in and got in for April. got the surgery, and 3 weeks as soon as I started doing soft foods, let's see, purees. No, went to purees. So as soon as I finished liquids and went to purees, I couldn't keep anything down. Couldn't swallow, nothing would go down. And what they ended up finding was I had a gut leak. Went on TPN, ended up having to go in and have surgery to get that clamped. Had drains, things didn't heal, obviously because of lupus and all that fun stuff. I was on TPN for 3.5 months and got off that, and then lost enough weight to get the hernia surgery, get approved for that. And this is the best story because went down in November to Utah because Idaho won't touch me now. So I go down in Utah in November of last year. The one and only Utah University bomb threat. I'm hooked up to IVs, getting ready to go into the OR. I'm next in line, and the entire hospital shuts down. Like
Oh, my
doors
gosh.
close, every section is walled off with steel doors. After several hours, I end up getting taken out through the back stairs, past the police, past the bomb squad. Have to reschedule. I go in January, get the hernia surgery. Things are great until 3 days later. I collapsed, had internal bleeding, went through surgery again. And then from January to March, I was life flighted 3 times. And this is about where I started getting into sharing my story, really sharing my story. Had nothing else to do. I spent 62 days so far in Utah University. Become really good friends with some of my nurses, actually. I'm doing her photos before I go into surgery this week. And so, lowest of the low through last year, I was thinking I was going to have to sell my business. I had no idea that there was a community out here. Had no idea. Shea, I think you were one of the first people I found when I started looking. I was a good 6 months, 8 months in and already going through the depression phase when I started looking for help. Good news is, got the surgery again in March, started working out. It failed in June. What we found out since June is if you have Crohn's, which I was not diagnosed with until 2 weeks ago, mesh does not hold a hernia. Mesh, you cannot use mesh material. So we're doing a different material, and I'm going back in on Tuesday in Utah. So I'll be back in Utah for 3 weeks. And we're trying a new procedure that my doctor, who is actually one of the lead teachers, he has done 5. I will be number 6. So we're doing a test pilot on kind of, I don't know what you call it, but I will be number 6 of this new procedure with this new material, and fingers crossed it holds for number 4. So
Wow.
started out as necessity. Now it's kind of like I have just met some great people, and I probably talk to my social media friends more than I talk to my real life friends. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's my story, and I think I kept it short.
Yeah, that's it. Well, just like all of the stuff you've been through, Jean, like I feel like it's just so incredible, just like your attitude and the way that you approach it. And that's something that I've always really admired about you. And so I am hoping that after this surgery, you won't be in the hospital at all anymore and that you'll get to move forward. But wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, what's funny is through all this, my 2 youngest grandsons have moved in with my son who got custody, and so I played the grandma/mom role a lot.
Yeah.
So they say if you watch your grandkids, you'll never get old. So I'm never dying.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that mom role, LaShawn, do you want to share a little bit about your story, Miss Mom?
Yeah, and sorry, my voice is like, I feel like my voice has been gone for like almost a month now. Like it's weird.
It's like sultry, like when Phoebe got a cold on Friends. It's like you just have to lean into it. I like it.
It's weird. Like I was talking to someone the other day and they're like, what's wrong with your voice? I'm like, mind your business. So it's one of those things. Don't know what's going on. I made the decision to get weight loss surgery in 2019. I started the process in October of 2019. COVID happened. So I got approved in, I think, January, around February. And COVID happened. I actually didn't end up getting the surgery until May of 2020. 2020 was a busy year. I got married in March, fell and hurt my knee in April, which that will be a story to come later. And then had my surgery in May. So I was actually supposed to have 2 surgeries in 2020. And I'm surprised I even had my weight loss surgery in 2020. But once they kind of lifted the restrictions, I called them. I was like, hey, I heard y'all are lifting restrictions. Like, can we get this scheduled? So I called them before they even called me. I was pressed. But I was supposed to get my knee surgery because I had torn my meniscus. And then that they stopped surgeries for that. And then they also stopped the surgeries for weight loss surgery. So my sleeve ended up coming first. So I didn't get my knee surgery. And I ended up moving. So life was just crazy. But I ended up having complications. When it came time to switch from liquids to purees, soft foods, so forth, I could not eat or keep anything down. I could barely drink water. It didn't matter what it was. Like my body was rejecting a lot of stuff. And like Eugene, I didn't really get the information on like, this is how you eat after weight loss surgery. Like my team was so good at reaching out prior to the surgery. Like, hey, we'll always answer the phone, which they did. But after the surgery, it was so hard to get a hold of them. It was just like being thrown to the wolves. So to say like, I went through 6 months, my insurance required me to do 6 months of visits and, all this stuff. And it wasn't helpful for me. I felt like it was a waste of time, honestly. Like I felt like it was just something that, okay, we're just here to check this visit off and then go on your way. So I ended up moving and I had to end up getting a PIC line because I needed TPN, like I was not getting any nutrition. I don't remember how long I was getting TPN. It was a while, but just remember like having the nurse come over and do the dressing change. And it was hot mess express. At the time I was a mother of 1, a newlywed. So, like I said, I got married in March of 2020 and life is just like kind of moving really fast. I had started a new job. Things really escalated. So I'm still getting sick. They're still not understanding why I'm getting sick. So they ended up doing this live x-ray where you had to drink that horrible, thick, white, chalky.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was. I will never do that again. Like I don't care if it's going to help. I will not drink that. Like it felt like I was going to like I don't know what that was. There's
It's
like,
a devil's elixir.
I don't like it and I don't want it again. That was horrible. So like, well, we need to look at a live view and what they saw, which still doesn't make sense to me today. Like, your sleeve is just super swollen. So it's just rejecting everything. Okay, what does that mean? They didn't give me any answers. It was just like, oh, this is what's happening. Had a hernia that they didn't fix. It was just like hot mess express. So even till this day, I'm just like, I've lost like 73 pounds probably. That's the highest that I've lost, but I still have a long way to go. My highest weight was 413 pounds. And it was just like, I feel like I failed at my surgery because 1, I didn't get the proper training, if you will, on this is how you eat after bariatric surgery. And then the complications, I felt like that was a roadblock. So I mentioned earlier that I'm kind of starting over. If y'all remember, I said I fell in April of 2020. And I had to, between 2020 and now has just been really busy for me. My husband and I were trying to conceive and we could not conceive. I didn't know what it was. So we ended up going through fertility testing. Everything looked good for both of us. And I knew I could have kids. I knew I could have kids because I had a child already. And I was thinking, shoot, what happened? Like maybe my body's just not ready to, like maybe my body can't do this anymore. All the testing with my husband came out good. Testing with me came out good. It came down to one test. And Shea, we talked about this. It's a test where it's called an HSG test. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. But essentially what they do is to see if your tubes are blocked. So if your tubes are blocked, there's a surgery they can do to unblock your tubes, or your tubes could be temporarily blocked with something called tubal goo. Literally called tubal goo. It's like goo in your tubes, and it's just there. Like
If any of you can get Robin Murph to say the words tubal goo, you guys like win a prize. Like these are the conversations I was wanting to have because I couldn't talk about tubal goo if they were on here.
Well, we could, but you would be saying it solo.
True.
tubal
True.
goo. It
Sorry.
is a
Keep
thing.
going, LaShawn. I just wanted
No,
to say,
literally,
like,
it
I
is a thing.
appreciate
Shea
it.
and I talked about this. Like, so how I found out okay. I had to get this test to see if my tubes were blocked. So there's this dye that they push through and it hurts like crap. Like it feels like a contraction, period pain, everything. So they did that and it was like, oh, you're going to feel an extreme amount of pain. I didn't feel any pain. I was like, what's going on? The doctor's like, I'm like, what the heck you mean, huh? What is that for? So they typically use a few milliliters of dye. I think he had to use it like normally around 5. I think he used about 20, at least 20 on me.
Wow.
So he did the second push through and I felt that pain. I was like, oh, there it is. Okay, please stop. This hurts like crap. He was like, well, I got good news and bad news that turned into good news. Your tubes were blocked, but I unblocked them. You just had some tubal goo. I'm like, I had what? So funny story, that happened on a Friday. And my husband and I ended up conceiving that Saturday. It was like, is there any waiting or like, because I had done research and it was like, oh, women get pregnant 3 months-ish after that test. How about 12 hours? 12 freaking hours. We were in Oklahoma too. It's funny. We were living in Texas at the time. But so we found out that I was pregnant with my middle child. And this was a week before we were scheduled to start IVF treatments. So I was just like floored. My son was born in June. He was born around 38 weeks. 6 months later, I found out I was pregnant again with my daughter. So I just had a baby about 10, 11 weeks ago.
Oh, congratulations.
Oh,
Thank you.
Congrats.
And it was a girl. I had my daughter.
Aw.
I had my
Come see me.
daughter.
I'm a newborn photographer.
Aw.
Listen, I will
There you
email you some
go.
photos. If you can Photoshop that together, we will we can do something with that. Okay, Jean? Like we're gonna have to talk.
I like it.
Love it. So kind of just fast forward. Life just got really crazy. My body is like, I was pregnant back to back. Like my middle child is 16 months. My daughter is 2 months. So like the back to back is real. 2 under 2 is real. And then I have a 9-year-old who will be 10 in December. So again, back to my knee story. I had an MRI and I got the results this week and they were not good. So sorry, you're probably gonna hear my son. But my knee is really bad. I have a I have a complete torn ACL. My meniscus is torn, and I have grade 3, grade 4 arthritis. So grade 3 being the cartilage is worn down really bad, and grade 4 being that the bone is exposed.
Oh.
I'm 31 years old. My birthday is in April. I'll be 32. I will eventually need a total knee replacement.
Oh.
So, but here's the problem. They were like, we could do it now, but we can't. Your BMI needs to be at a 40. Mine is a 51. So essentially, I'm being told you're too fat for us to do this surgery.
That's what I had.
Do an ACO. We can probably do an ACO reconstruction and, maybe delay you needing a knee replacement, but you're going to need it. But you're going to need to lose at least 40 pounds. And I'm like, dang, I just can't win. Not to mention my insurance currently does not cover anything weight loss related. Surgeries, nothing. So it's like, all right, cool. I'll just go lose 40 pounds. Thanks. See you in 5 years or whatever. So that was a little bit all over the place, but that's my story.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, Michelle, you're our last one, just to kind of share a bit of like where you started, how you got here. And it's like I want to dive into each of the things that you guys have mentioned a little bit more, but go ahead, Michelle.
Okay, so like I mentioned, I had looked into weight loss surgery for many years. The time just never seemed right. The insurance, like you wouldn't pay for it. I didn't have the money nor the, time with 6 children to go to Mexico to have it done. And then when we went to Disneyland and I passed out, I was like, you know what? My insurance will pay for it. I'm done. And like LaShawn, I had also needed a knee replacement. I've already had one done, needed my left one done. And the doctor said, no, as big as you are, I'm not going to operate on you. So that really dove me into the process of trying to get the weight loss surgery done. So then I had mine done in July of 2022. And so now I'm down 150 pounds. And lo and behold, even though my knee is still bone on bone, it does not hurt. And so I'm pushing it back as far as I can, not to have that done. So yeah, but my goal basically was not for my children. Well, I guess for my children, but for my grandchildren. We're very active grandparents. We do a lot with our 11 grandchildren. And so I just wanted to make sure that I was there for them, to see them graduate, to see them have children. And I have just been really lucky because my bariatric surgeon and his office are very hands-on prior to surgery and after surgery. And so lucky for me, I went into it knowing what the diet was going to be like. And I think because of that they are so hands-on, that I've had a really great success story.
And how old were you, Michelle, when you got your
Oh,
surgery?
I was 62. So yeah, I know that most of the cutoffs are like at 70. I don't know if they do certain ones after 7. I don't know. I just know that for my insurance, or for my husband's insurance, because he's looking into it now, is 70 is the age that they cut off at. And so 62, I still have a good 20-25 years left, so I'm making the most of it. And you're just not ever too old. I don't feel like, anyway, because I feel like a 25-year-old again. I do things that I've never been able to do before. So yeah.
So awesome. I love that. I love that. Well, I'm curious from each of you ladies, what has been the most surprising part of this journey for you? It could be positive, negative, whatever, but what's been like the most surprising thing? I know while you guys are thinking, because I've had a little bit of time to think, for me, the most surprising journey is like this right here, right? Like I know a couple of you had mentioned that, but it's like just having a community of people who have shared this one experience, but yet we've shared so many experiences, right? And I think going into surgery, I didn't know that there would be this type of community, and it still surprises me where it's like each of you I've had, really deep conversations with one-on-one, and like it's just like, how crazy is it? I wouldn't have known you guys most likely, if it hadn't been for this. So that's been one of the most surprising things for me, is just all these amazing people I've gotten to meet and have had access to. So cool.
Yeah, I'll go with this one first. Is I'm kind of along that way. I just never expected to be accepted, because I think we can all relate to it. When you're heavy, you get a lot of bad comments, a lot of like bad remarks, a lot of outcasting, and which is sad because it's just your weight. It's not who you are. And so for the bariatric community to, just engulf you and to love you and to support you. So Jean was actually one of the first ones I met in the bariatric community face to face. We met with Vivian. I'm not sure what her handle is now. I just know her by Vivian Lee. She came to Salt Lake, and Jean came down from Idaho, and we met and had lunch together, and we just had a great time. And it was just fun to make that connection. And then the next ones, of course, was going to JBY and meeting everyone there. And I roomed with Shea and her husband and a few others, well, Murph and Rob, and it was just a fun bonding experience. We just had a good time. It just made us feel like family rather than we're just internet friends or whatever. That's our family. And I have just thoroughly loved getting to know each one, and so I think that's probably been the surprising thing for me too, is the acceptance and loving you no matter what you are.
I love that.
I would tend to agree. Like, as soon as you asked that, Shea, that was going to be my answer. Is just the sense of community and the surprising amount of support that I received from close family and extended family and friends, and then finding this community and becoming family, as Michelle said, because it's just, yeah, to go through that experience alone, it's that would be rough. And I'm grateful that I didn't have to do that. But because that was already spoken for and about, I would say that definitely the next most surprising thing would be of how fast I started to see and feel results. Like, after my bariatric surgery, I would say that I think I was like 30 pounds down, and I was already feeling like on top of the world. And that might make one think, well, why, if you only needed to lose 30 pounds to feel better, then like, why go through surgery? But it was so much more than that. Obviously, I had 100+ pounds to lose, and there was no way I was doing that on my own. I definitely needed the tool, but it really surprised me how quickly I started to feel better, and like the feeling in my feet came back, and the pain I was experiencing in my legs and my feet were definitely gone. I have suffered with chronic severe lower back pain, due to my weight, obviously, as well, but because I had a car accident about 9 years ago, and that I have a severed lower disc. So like, just having 286 pounds sit on that was excruciating. And that went away. I think that was almost completely gone at 6 months post-op. So it was really surprising how fast it all happened, because I waited for so long to have my surgery, just with, COVID and the delays there. But I had contemplated and researched bariatric surgery for 7 years before I actually took the leap. So in my mind, it's something I had waited so long for, and to see the results and more importantly, feel the results so quickly really, really shocked me.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah.
What
I know
about
for
you,
me,
G?
yeah, I didn't get the results right away. And for me, it was because I was put on TPN at 3 weeks. Unfortunately, TPN, well, it's a double-edged sword, right? It's your perfect nutrition. So they keep your sugars, keep your fat. You don't gain, you don't lose. And I can remember begging the doctors, I'm like, I just had this surgery. Can you please just drop my sugars? And my bariatric doctor, he actually moved me to his cancer office so he could see me twice a week. And so I spent a lot of time with him. And he just kept reminding me, you need to, just give it time. You need to give it time. You need this right now to heal. And I can remember being so frustrated. And then, so when I had to go on TPN again this year because of the scar tissue and blockages, I can remember again begging my surgeon. I'm like, look, I'm so close to 100 pounds. My year is coming up. Can you please? And they did behind the scenes drop me down to where I lost a little bit and met my goal. I think I hit my 100 pounds at like 13 months. Of course, community is awesome. For me, it was the mindset. I never knew how much work I needed to do. I never really had done therapy or counseling. I had tried, but I'm not the easiest person to get along with. And I wasn't the kind of person that wanted to go in and sit and talk to somebody. And the response was, well, how does that make you feel? I'm like, no, I need somebody tough as nails that can tell me how it is. You know, knock it off, quit being a wimp, move on. And I still haven't found that therapist, but I have started working with Jamie with the sleeve dietitian. Um, she's amazing. And then I also, my bariatric office, who still sees me like they've extended my stay because my journey wasn't quote unquote normal. So I still see them every 3 months, even a year and a half out. But they have a new doctor that just went, and she is strictly metabolic wellness. And I see her every 3 months to take it to the next level. So, but the mindset, and I struggle with it. This last week, it's been sabotage. The mindset will forever surprise me of how messed up I really am.
Well, and you're not messed up. It's just I think how I describe it for myself is like for so long trying to lose weight, trying to do all these things that we've tried for so many years, it takes up so much brain capacity. And when that's not there anymore, where you don't have to think about it in the same type of way, it's like all those other things just kind of come up to the surface. And so I don't think you're alone with that, Jean. At least that's how I experienced it too, where I thought I was pretty prepared mentally going in. And then afterwards, it's like, wow, there's just a lot of stuff that I haven't, my body wasn't safe, didn't feel safe enough to deal with until I was ready, And so you're not messed
You
up.
don't realize how much is tied to food, how much you've
Mm-hmm.
tied every emotion, every feeling, every response. You're like tough as nails on the outside, but you don't realize your secret eating behind the scenes. When you take
Yeah.
that coping mechanism away, and I didn't want to, turn to alcohol because, I mean, that would have been a given with my family.
Yeah.
So I actually quit drinking altogether instead
That's
of going the other
awesome.
way. So I turned to my treadmill.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome because transfer addiction can be a very real thing, and alcohol is like the number one
Mhm.
replacement for the food that we were once addicted to.
Well, and that was my fear. And with autoimmune hepatitis, let me rephrase that. I have autoimmune hepatitis. I don't want anybody to freak out. I did not get it from something, but with that, alcohol is just not a good choice. And so I was mindful going in on that one.
Yeah. What about you, LaShawn? What's been something that's been surprising for you in this journey?
I feel like mine is so different from what you all have said. Okay. So first things first, I recommend anyone that is wanting to consider bariatric surgery, do not join those Facebook groups. Please do not join those Facebook groups. Those things are trash.
Yeah.
What's surprising to me is so many people say like my husband was going to leave me.
Oh, yeah.
We're approaching 4 years, so leave who? Where? Like that was just like, what are you talking about? Like I've had quite a few people said that to me, and they're like, "Oh, things are going to change. That dynamic is never going to be the same." My husband married me at my highest weight, and it's still here, and it's still 100,000% supportive today. So that was just that was surprising to me. So I don't know where that came from. People have said like that was a thing. Like when I first started getting involved in the community, people were saying like that's the thing, but I personally have not seen that. And I hope I don't, because that would just break my heart. Like I don't want to see someone having to go through that, like, oh, I gained confidence and they didn't like that. And it's like, F them, like you have all the confidence you want to have, because that's just like, that's baffling to me. So that was surprising to me. And I think all of you said a lot of things that resonated with me as well, because I mean, the support is really good in this community. Um, and I think it's always good. For me, I looked at the support as in like, okay, I don't want to make it feel like I need to be supported by everybody, because I feel like everybody's journey is different. I feel like you need to find your person. So at one point, I was feeling really left out, because I was like, dang, like, I just don't know where I fit in. I was trying to fit in somewhere. I don't need to fit in anywhere. I got my people and they know they got me. So at the end of the day, that's all that's what I need, So that's also something that was surprising to me. Not feeling like you don't have to fit in anywhere. Don't feel like you have to belong to a group. Find who makes you happy. Find your support, whether that's one person or 20 people, whatever makes you happy. That's what I think is important to me.
Yeah. Going back to that spousal piece for a minute, or a partner piece, whoever, your person is, I get that question a lot, because I do one-on-one coaching support with quite a few people in the bariatric process. And one of the questions I get a lot is bariatric surgery going to cause me to get a divorce, or is it going to cause me to not be in my relationship anymore? And at least what I've found in my journey, I'd be curious if you guys have found similar or see it differently, but really it just enhanced what was already there with all relationships in my life. So it brought out some things in some relationships where I'm like, whoa, this is pretty toxic. And before, I didn't see myself as worthy of deserving more than that. And then in some relationships, it made me a lot closer and stronger with those people. And so has that been your guys' experience too, with just whether it's a partner relationship, spouse relationship, or just like a friendship, just relationships in general? Do you feel like that's kind of fallen to be true for you, or do you see it a bit differently?
I think for me, the true colors have come out for a few people when I announced that I wanted to get. Why did that happen? When it announced that, like when I announced that I wanted to get weight loss surgery, I think there was one person that I actually was working with in the gym, and her and I have been working together for some time. But when I said like, hey, I think I'm really going to consider weight loss surgery, because it's just getting to the point where I'm tired of the same cycle. I'm tired of it. I cannot do this no more. Mentally, I cannot take this anymore. Physically, I can't take it anymore. And it was just like the total shame game. Like, that's a horrible decision. You're going to fail at it. And it's like, okay, well, that's it for us. Like, I have nothing else for you, because you're not going to sit there and attack me or my character for doing something to better my life or to extend my life for my family. So, yeah, I think definitely it enhanced the love that was there, but it also showed me the true colors. And I don't do toxic. Like, I cut off is real easy. So that was not a problem for me to cut that person off.
Yeah.
I think for me, it was interesting because it came from a place I never thought it would come from. And that was from a couple of my children. And they, I thought, I think I do have their support, but they just think that that's all I worry about or think about is my weight loss. And it's not. It's just I like to share my accomplishments because it's taken me so long to do these things. And so when I share it, they kind of attack me. And it's like, can you talk about anything else? And I really can, but I wanted to share this. And so that was hard to see that, a couple of my kids were not all in, I guess you could say, or felt supportive from them. And that was hard. And for me, even though it is a toxic situation, they're my kids. I can't just cut them off, because I still love them and I feel like they still love me, but it's just a kind of a different dynamic. And so, yeah, it's just hard to think that, family, when after they've seen me struggle for so many years, not be happy for what I'm becoming.
Yeah, dynamics can definitely change with people that you think you're close to, that you are close to, and even people from afar. I found out that people, I guess, that had started following my journey on my Instagram page, that, I mean, we were more acquaintances, maybe, like very, very few interactions, but people kind of along that same line, Michelle's, that like, oh my gosh, this is all she talks about now. It's like, well, first of all, you're on my weight loss page and that's my platform to share this. But it's like, well, damn, yeah, this is what I'm going to talk about. I want to shout it from the rooftops because I struggled for so long. And if me sharing my journey is going to help even just one person, that's what I sort of set out to do, because that was how I learned. And I found that by doing so and sharing my journey, it kind of put a few people off. It's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're displaying that. And oh my gosh, you're showing your stomach and your skin. And it's like, well, hang on, you do you and I'll do me. And it's like, if you don't like what I'm sharing, then don't look at it, I guess. So it's like you kind of realize that the dynamic between people you thought were supportive, or that you thought, why would they even care? Like, we're barely acquaintances. Do you know what I mean? Like, why do they have a problem with what I'm doing with my life? Like, or there's the whole easy way out topic as well that Jamie, the sleep dietitian, just put out an awesome book about. And it's just like, it's really, really prominent sometimes of people thinking that you cheated because this is the tool you used. And so that, pardon me, but it pisses me right off, because it's like, I
Can't believe you
tried
said
so.
that, Erin.
I
Said
know. Can you bleep
kidding.
me? Oh, I'm gonna get mad. I just like the easy
Erin is
way
like
out,
getting me fired up right now. I'm trying to be
right?
good and mindful of my words. I'm like, oh, she gonna make me say something. We all gonna get
No,
blocked.
No, this is real talk,
That's
ladies.
right.
Mind the business that pays you, okay?
Yeah, it's just like the easy way out thing just drives me insane, because people just don't get it, which is full circle back to why I'm so grateful for this community, because you all get it. We all get it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of that kind of like not getting it and the easy way out, if someone's watching or listening right now, and maybe this like the first time they've ever heard about bariatric surgery, or maybe there's someone who's watching who is just kind of starting to look into it, like, is this something for me? And or maybe there's someone watching who's just kind of like in a hopeless place of like, I've tried all these things and they're not working, and I have depression and I feel miserable. What's the one thing that each of you would want to say to that person?
It's a good one.
I think for me it would be know your why, believe your why, live your why, and the rest of the noise will go away. If you marry yourself to the conviction of why you're doing it and don't let others sway you, if that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Others' opinions are your loved ones, you want their opinions. In my situation, I think people know my personality, and so I didn't get anybody's opinion. Nobody spoke up in my world.
So either
But
know your why or go to Jean and have Jean tell your
right.
family and friends
Yeah,
your why.
I've never had any of the negativity. I have no toxicity in my world. I have no pushback. Um, and I think it's because I've been ill long enough that uh, my circle knows that I know who I am and I believe who I am, and I'm not afraid to tell you who I am.
Love that.
Hmm.
Very good.
I might be a little too strong.
Never.
Gene, no,
No.
Gene, you keep that. Like, no, I love that. Like, you keep that up. Like, oh my gosh, I'm sitting here like, dang, I need to talk to Gene on the side. Like, I need to that wisdom because I like the toxicness. Like,
Oh, I'll
whole
help
nother
you.
conversation.
I always
Absolutely.
found that the toxic stuff was always from people that you sort of least expected. Like I had such amazing support from my friends and family, and I was afraid to share. Well, this might sound really weird because I shared openly, very openly on Instagram. However, I did not want to share publicly on Facebook until I had reached a milestone that in my mind was like, okay, if I put this milestone out there, people are going to say, hey, wait a minute, you succeeded, and it will eliminate the negativity.
Yeah.
So I made a choice that I was only going to post publicly that I had even had bariatric surgery when I was 100 pounds down. And that is what I did. And I posted one of my reels and a sort of a transformation, and it was just a flood of support from family and friends. So I was really, really thankful for that. But I found that, again, you mentioned the Facebook groups and stuff, they can be a little toxic. And it was the people that were like, I don't even know you, and you're the one displaying negativity around my journey and how I'm doing me. That was what shocked me, that I was like, why is this bothering me? Why am I even letting this bother me? Because I don't even know you. But
Right.
it was,
There,
I just found that really interesting.
there's this amazing thing called block,
Right? Yeah.
The best
and it
thing
works
ever.
really
Yep.
well.
Yeah. For
I
sure.
think if
Well,
it were me telling someone like the one thing I tell somebody, advocate for yourself.
Mhm.
That is that's all I can say. Just advocate for yourself. And that's with everything, whether it's weight loss surgery, like this previous pregnancy, I did not have the greatest experience with some of my doctor teams. And so there are plenty of times where I gave them the smoke. It's like, no, you're gonna listen to me and you're gonna stop trying to tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about because I know my body. And it was because of that something was wrong. I ended up being admitted to the hospital 2 weeks prior to giving birth to my daughter because I told them, no, something's wrong. And my daughter was born 36 weeks premature because I advocated for myself. So that's what I would tell somebody.
Absolutely.
I love it. What about you,
I did-
Michelle?
Well, I didn't really have trying to think. There's just so many things going through my mind, but I think mainly is I go back to Jean's thing is know your why. This is for you. It's not for Jean in my journey, or it's not for Aaron or LaShawn or Shea. This is me, and we all have different whys, and we outcome. And I think the main thing is just to grit down and really do what you set out to do. And you're going to have bumps along the way, and some are not going to be pleasant. Look at Jean, she's just had so many, but she's still true to herself. She still wants what she's wanted from the beginning, is to be healthy and to have a healthy weight. And I admire her for that, because I'm not sure if any of those things that she's gone through, if I'd gone through that, I would just been out the door and be like, I'm done, But she hasn't. She's stayed true to her why. And I really think that that's a mindset that you need to get, is you need to make sure that you know for yourself what is best for yourself, and to stick to it and to work hard. And that's what I do. And I try to share my story, and I'm not the world's best at social media. I say this time and time again. I'm still learning.
I think you're
But
pretty darn good, Michelle.
I
I
don't
think you're
know
pretty
about that.
awesome with it.
But I want to reach those, and I've had several on my page that are older women who reach out to me and tell me what inspiration, and I don't see it. I don't, but there's something there that they've needed. And if I can share that, whatever it is, and the encouragement and just loving them and letting them know that it's okay. It's okay to do what you need to do for you. So that's what I try to share.
I love it.
Well, and that's part of why you and I connected was, I'm not far behind you
No, no, we're really
age-wise.
close to, yeah,
Mhm.
age-wise, and yeah. And well, and I think our proximity, we're not too far away, like what, 6
And I
hours
spend a lot
away.
of time in Salt Lake.
Yeah, and you spend, and the day I was going to come and see you, that's the day the bomb squad.
Yep. But I'm
Yeah,
back on Sunday.
yep. But we're gonna get together again. So yeah,
I'll be there till almost Thanksgiving. So
I'll be there.
I love that. I love that. What about you,
Shay, do you
Erin?
remember? Oh, I'm
Oh.
sorry.
Oh,
I really
okay.
quickly, I want to say, Shay, do you remember that saying that I said when we chatted on our podcast, and it was like, "There's nothing stronger than." Do you remember that saying?
It's not ringing a bell, but I'm sure it was really good, and it has nothing to do with the saying. And my brain is just a bit tired, so it's not letting me go
No.
back.
Well, I
it
thought
sounds
about it because
amazing.
again, well, we have to remember that there's not just women in this community, there's men in this community. So when I first said it, I, talked about the women, but I just want to be generalized. There's nothing stronger than a person who's hiding what they're really going through on their face. So that is like the most strongest person. So I just had to throw that out there because when you think about it, I think everyone has a lot going on, and everyone, Shay, Jean, Michelle, Aaron, me, we all have stuff that we're going on. Jean, you are walking around, I can tell, with the strongest look on your face. And deep down inside your prayer, like, I'm tired of this. Like, I'm tired. But you know what? You're still showing up. And that's for everyone. Everyone's still showing up. So kudos to us and everybody.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Mhm.
Love that. Erin, is there anything? I know you kind of talked. Did you share? Didn't share your advice though yet, right? That piece, did you share that?
Well, I guess I'm just sort of echoing what everyone else is saying and
No, that's great.
reiterating even what I've said already too, and at the beginning of the segment. It's just, yeah, you just gotta remember why you're doing this and not try to. Oh, here we go. Here's advice. Do not compare your journey to someone else's in terms of, oh, I'm the same, months post-op and I can eat half that amount or I can eat way more than that. Have I broken my tool? No, like restriction looks very different for everybody. And I've put this on my page several times because I want people to know that restriction for me changes day to day, sometimes hour to hour, like meal to meal. Like I can just eat or graze or whatever I might be doing and eat a lot of something at lunch. At dinner, I'm the same thing. Even if I'm having the same leftovers, like and 2 bites of it makes me really full. So it really, really does vary. So try your best not to compare because it's just like a thief of joy and you feel defeated and you feel like a failure and you're not, because you're on this journey. You're obviously actively trying to, become your healthier, better, happier self. So that right there is a win. You're on the right track. Just don't compare yourself to others because it's not healthy.
I think along with all that, if somebody's looking at it, the first thing you need to do is go buy yourself a journal and start putting every feeling, just brain
Yeah.
dump, word dump. Sometimes I just write down random words, like crossword puzzle almost, but just get it all on paper, get it out.
That's good advice.
Definitely.
I think my thing that I'm really starting to see now, and I think like what I would say to anybody who's watching, like just be open to changing your mind on things. Like, you might go into surgery thinking that you're doing it for a specific reason, but it might change, and it probably will change a bunch of different times. And so it's okay to change your mind on things. It's okay to just kind of see where the river floats you. And you don't have to, it's not a failure if you make mistakes or choose different things or change as a person. Like that's been one of the coolest parts, where it's like I would have never hoped or wished I would have been where I am today. And at the same time, it's like, oh my gosh, like I love where I am today. And this was not part of the plan. So be okay with those detours, because they might take you to places that you were meant to be all along. You just didn't know it. So that would be my little thing.
That actually brings up a little point that I'd like to share. My 6-year-old came home from school the other day, and just to put a little bit of perspective on it, she's a little, she feels defeated if she answers a wrong answer, or if she can't do something correctly. She kind of, it deflates her a little bit for a while. She really is just, I mean, as any child, but like she just really needs that extra, pump up. And she came home and she had a really, really good day at school. And she said, Mr. So-and-so, my teacher, he said something really cool to me today. He wants me to get the wrong answer. I said, oh, because if I get the wrong answer, then I learn from my mistake. So it's like the way he phrased it to her, it really, really resonated with her. And it's like, yeah, you know what? That kind of makes sense all through your life, honey, because yeah, that's how you grow. That's how you change. That's how you learn from your mistakes. And that's what allows you to kind of push forward and put a change and put a plan into action, right? So I was like relating that to my own journey, and it's like, yeah, that makes total sense.
I'm going to reiterate on that a little bit. Is one of my sayings as my kids were growing up, there are no mistakes. There's only lessons.
Yes, yeah. Definitely.
We got to get these on bumper stickers, ladies. You guys are just full of so much wisdom. I love this.
It's all about going from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset.
Yes,
Yeah.
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 Another bumper sticker.
There you go. I know we got to start getting those going.
Could be our side job, writing bumper stickers or greeting cards or something.
I love it. The Bariatric Baddies greeting cards. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Expect your Christmas cards coming out soon.
There you go. We'll all be in our Halloween costumes.
I mean, I actually was just telling my husband I'm ready to put up the tree. Like, I don't know if I can wait till Thanksgiving. I really don't.
Girl, you're an
You wanna
adult.
come
You
put up
do whatever
mine?
you want.
Do what you want. Yeah.
I'm ready.
I love it.
Yep.
I love it. Well, ladies, gosh, we're like already past time. That went way too quick. But is there anything I just would like to go around the room one last time? And you could just share whatever. It can be where people can find you. It can be one last bumper sticker saying. But I just want to give each of you just like kind of a chance to close, so that way no one is goes without speaking.
Yeah. I just want to say that I love you guys, and I love this community. I know we talked about that. And yeah, for displaying, I think on there it says, yeah, got to do this for me _RNY. I'm an open book. So, and I'm proud of that, because I never really was that way before surgery. So anyone, whether you just want to chat, you want to vent, you have questions, you want advice, whatever, I can tell you based on my own experience. I'm not a dietitian, I'm not anything, but I just, I can speak from my own experience, and I'm always happy to connect with people. So anyone can always feel free to DM me on Instagram and chat, because I love this community so much. It's helped me a lot on my journey. So.
Well, if anyone wants to find me, I am LaShawn __Roe, ROE, on Instagram. That is my one and only Instagram. I actually don't have a separate page for like weight loss and personal. I'm one open book. So follow me, reach out to me. I am also an open book. And like I said, I'm kind of just restarting my journey again. And, I don't really know exactly I know how I'm going to go about it. It's just a matter of finally doing it and telling people my story again. So and reach out to me anytime.
Okay. And my platform is on Instagram, Gas by Granny. Again, I'm not a gassy granny, but I have gastric bypass granny. So Gas by Granny for short. I don't think anybody would want to follow my Facebook, so we'll just do that with the Instagram because Facebook I share probably nothing. Except for my Wordle for the day. So
if we want to see Wordle, that we go to Michelle's Facebook.
That's the first thing I do in the morning is do my Wordle. But yeah, I'm like everybody else. I'm an open book. If you have anything to ask, I mean anything, I can talk any subject. I'm not an expert at anything. Master of trades, nothing. I like to talk and I like to visit, like to share my story, and I like to hear your stories. And if I'm a help to anybody, just that's my main goal, is just to make sure that that and that there's help wherever you need to have it. And I love all you ladies. You're just my sweethearts. I call Shea my second daughter. She's my little girl. She's
That's right.
got a special place in my heart. And anyway, but I love you all, and just so pleased that we've had this opportunity to chat with each other and to know each other.
Love it.
So Shea, thanks for the platform, the opportunity to. I love meeting and growing. Like Michelle, you, LaShawn, Aaron. It's a pleasure to be able to grow that support and the boundary. I did change my platform recently to Jean's Life Journey on Instagram and TikTok. The main reason for that is you're going to get weight loss, you're going to get lupus, you're going to get whatever's happening, you're going to get hospitals, you're going to get home, you're going to get workouts, you're going to get my 5Ks. So it's kind of runs everything, but DMs are always open. Not always the best at getting to them, but I do eventually get back to you and love connecting.
I love it. Well, thank you, ladies, for being on. This was so much fun. It was so nice to talk about tubal goo, and we didn't get to. I think the boys could handle what we talked about. It wasn't too graphic for them. But next week, the boys will be back, so it's going to be the three of us. We haven't had like a three of us podcast in a while, me and the boys, but we're going to be back and just kind of catching up and chatting. So join us next week. Okay, this is the first time I've done this on my own. Who's going to be my 1 pound at a time? Anybody? Aaron, you've seen the show enough. I think you can do it. Okay. Well, okay. Let me see if I can do it like Rob here. I'll make sure I look like him first. Okay. Now I look like him. Okay. Thank you to you guys and everybody who's watching for joining us tonight at the waiting table, where we're serving the weight loss community. Now you go
1 pound at a time.
Yeah. And then this is where we dance, guys. The boys sometimes dance with me, but this is where we dance off and we say goodnight to everybody.
And we do that.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's girls' night. Love you, ladies.
Love you.
Love you all.
Love you.